Peace, guys. Welcome back to ZENSFXHUB, where macro markets are simplified. In this video, I'm going to give you guys a current update on where we stand right now with the war, since things has escalated from February 28th. And I try my best to get as much information as possible, because I feel like every single day there's something new. So it's really kind of hard to keep up with everything. But I'm just, I try my best to give you guys the most recent update up until now, okay? And I just want to say, right, I know a lot of traders thought that gold was going to shoot up to 6,000 once markets opened up. I was one of those traders, I'm not going to lie to you, but it ended up shooting down, right, and a very large percentage. And I explained this in a video where I talked about the DXY yields in gold and how those markets correspond with one another. So if you haven't watched that video, click the link in my description so you could be able to watch that, so you can understand why gold dropped and just how to look moving forward, what to look for in the markets, so that you can see when gold is actually going to start to push back up. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Listen, I am calling out all my day traders. I don't care if you trade stocks, crypto, forex, futures. I don't care if you're a scalper, a day trader, a position trader, whatever style of trading you do, I do not care. All I care about is bringing us together. So I am throwing a free event for traders to come and network and have a great time. There's going to be music, refreshments. It's going to be an opportunity to play some games and potentially win some prizes. Now, I ain't going to say what those prizes are, because it could be a funded account, a trading book, or the opportunity to have a one-on-one session with me so I can teach you how to trade fundamentals the right way and you can make some money. I don't know. But all I know is that this event is for us. So come, pull up, bring your trading friends. Let's have a great time. Let's mix, let's mingle, let's network, let's talk markets. Let's just enjoy each other's company, all right? But listen, spots are limited, so make sure you RSVP ASAP to get yourself in the door, all right? Because you don't want to miss out on this. This is going to be fire. So I'll see you guys there. Peace. So where are we, right? We are currently in week 2 of the situation, right, between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. Oil markets have shaken, and if you don't know, oil has been going crazy, right? Global security tensions rising. All right, so the conflict has entered the second week after massive strikes on Iranian leadership and military infrastructure. Airstrike hit missile sites, drone factories, and military bases. So with that line right there, what the U.S. and Israel has been doing to Iran is trying to cripple them, right? Trying to make it hard for them to fight back. And what better way to do that than to hit the places where they are creating their drones and their missiles and meeting together to figure out what's the next best move as far as who they're going to hit. So Israel and in the U.S. have been playing dirty. And I think the reason why is because Trump literally came out and said that he wants, Iran to come out pretty much on their hands and knees begging for mercy, saying that they surrender. And Iran is like, fuck that, we're not doing that. And I think this is why we see in Iran respond the way it is by hitting, a lot of the regions in the Middle East. And we'll talk about that later in the video. Iran has responded with ballistic missiles and drone attacks. Fighting now expand across the region. This is now viewed as a regional conflict, not just Iran versus Israel. So new Iranian leadership, okay? So Iran's assembly of experts have named, and I wrote his name down so I won't pronounce it wrong, Mojtaba Khamenei as the new supreme leader after the death of his father, Ali Khamenei. Okay, he's considered a hard-line leader with close ties to the Revolutionary Guard. Many analysts believe that this could be a signal for a more aggressive stance in this conflict. So, so the fact that if that's the case, then Iran getting on their hands and knees begging for mercy and surrendering. If what analysts are saying is correct, then a surrender is not going to happen, and we can actually see this play out longer than what Trump has said when he it was like last week when he said that this issue can go on for 4 to 5 weeks. So we can actually see this drag on longer with this new supreme leader and that's in charge. So the war has expanded across the Middle East. Iran has launched strikes against U.S. bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Risk of wider regional war continues to rise. So missile attacks continues. Ongoing military escalation. Iran has launched new ballistic missile attacks towards Israel. Explosions reported in central Israel. Israel carried out additional airstrikes in Tehran and uh, Beirut. I'm sorry if I'm looking down. It's because I got these things written out so I could be able to pronounce it. Um, Hez, Hezbollah has also increased attacks from Lebanon. The conflict has now spread across multiple areas in the Middle East. Okay, Strait of Hormuz disruption, global risk shipping risk. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil ship routes, is experiencing major disruption. Iran over the weekend was seen attacking ships in the Strait of Hormuz, essentially blocking a shipping lane that accounts for roughly 20% of the world's oil supplies. Tanker traffic slowing or rerouting, insurance costs rising sharply. Nearly 20% of oil supply normally moves through this route. G7 nations are considering releasing emergency oil reserves to stabilize the market. So pretty much, right? These nations, they keep oil stored just in case any type of disruption happens, like a war, right? And they keep it there. It's like a backup. Think about like somebody with a bunker who has a bunch of canned food just in case something pops off. They'll be able to survive and they have food to survive. This is what the G7 nations have. They do when it comes to oil. They keep it stored in case conflict arise so that they can be able to keep the world going. Because without oil, we won't be able to do much. Let's just be honest. We won't. Like, we need energy in order to keep things, going and everywhere that we live. Okay, so this is why this is such a very extreme thing that we are experiencing, because the energy sector is really globally is being disrupted, not just in Iran or Israel and the US. It's globally. This is hurting everyone. Peace, guys. So look, I created a free Telegram where I break down every single trade that I take. I give you the fundamental reasons and I also give you the technical reasons. Whenever I make a new YouTube video, I post it in here so you can be up to date with it. And also, when I get in for a trade, I tell you the entry, the stop loss, and whether I put a TP, which most of the times I don't. And I let you know how much I'm risking on that trade. All right. So if you want to be a part of this community, you want to grow with me, and you want to make some money, join the free Telegram. Now, I will say that I am a position/swing trader, so I do not call out trades every single day. But the trades that I do call out, we get in and we hold and we ride the wave. All right. So join the free Telegram. The link is in description. I will see you guys in there. Peace. So, energy shocks hitting the markets. Oil prices surged above $120 per barrel. Tanker traffic through Strait of Hormuz collapsing. Gas prices rising worldwide. I can't fucking speak today. If disruptions continue, analysts warn of global inflation and potential economic slowdown. I want to touch on that for a bit, right? Because if the price of oil continues to go up, right, that is going to have a huge impact on inflation. And if inflation starts to rise globally, then rate cuts are going to have to be pushed back, right? And traders, investors, including myself, coming into 2026, were prepared for the United States to do rate cuts, right? Even in the UK, they were supposed to be doing rate cuts as well this year. But being that this war has brought energy to the forefront, and there is inflation fears, then the US is not going to look, the Fed is not going to look to do rate cuts, right? And it's a possibility that instead of them doing rate cuts, they might end up doing rate hikes to be able to combat inflation. Okay? So in simple terms, right? If inflation is rising, the cost of things is going up. The central banks cannot do rate cuts. Why? Because if they make it cheaper for people to borrow money, that's more money stimulating into the economy, right? When inflation is low, they'll look to do rate hikes, right? So that money can flow and stimulate the economy to cause, inflation to either be stabilized or stay at a certain level, which is around 2%. Okay, so again, the oil prices and the price of oil has a huge impact on inflation. So this is why they're saying that it's possible that rate cuts will not happen this year or get pushed back further than what we thought. Russia has entered the picture. Okay, Russia reports have indicated that Russia is supplying Iran with satellite imagery, U.S. troop and aircraft movement data, and naval positioning information. This this intelligence reportedly helped Iran drone attacks on U.S. forces, including a strike that killed 6 American troops in Kuwait. And I didn't say this in the video, but I put this up on my Instagram when I talked about how, before things escalated, that, Iran was looking to get help from Russia and also buying missiles from China. Okay. So this is, but between last week when I dropped that video until now, again, a lot has changed. So what I want you to take away from this, right? The key things that we need to watch is oil, gold, the US dollar, and yields. Okay. So remember, right? The US dollar and gold are both safe havens, right? But if Marcus is very fearful and they think that this is going to drag out longer than expected, they're going to pour more money into the dollar than into gold, right? And I explained in a video, just to give you guys some context, right? If the US dollar is going up, right, the price of the dollar is going up and increasing. Gold is priced in dollars. So if the dollar is going up, it's going to make gold more expensive. Okay, so this is why you see gold pulling back and you see gold like chopping around right now, because it's expensive. It's expensive to buy gold right now compared to buying gold when the dollar was at like what, $88 or 87 or $85. The DXY is currently, near that $100 mark. Okay. So again, if you want more context on that, more information on that, watch that video. Yields may fall if investors move towards safety. Okay, so geopolitical conflict creates volatility and opportunity. So it's a lot of opportunity at our doorstep when it comes to what's going on right now. And you may just have to shift your mind from looking at gold and silver and start to look at currency pairs. Start to look at things that have the dollar in it, the yen, the Swiss. Why? Because the dollar, the yen, and the Swiss are safe haven assets. So when you take that and you compare it to another country, let's say like the pound or the euro, you will be able to find some really good plays in the market. Like I was able to capitalize last week off Euro JPY selling. Why? Because the yen is considered a safe haven, right? Safe haven assets are being bought up tremendously right now. So once I took that information and I compared it to the euro, which is considered a risk on asset, we are in a risk off environment. So that puts pressure on the euro compared to the yen. And then I ended up taking that information. I looked at the markets. I seen that there was a resistance level that EJ wasn't going above, and then I ended up just selling from that level, and it shot down, and I caught almost 2 to 300 pips on that trade. So you might have to diversify your portfolio. If not, if you just want to stay patient, if you only trade gold or metals, then stay patient, wait for the market to give you that signal that you're looking for, and then actually get in and start buying to the upside. Because I don't think that this is going to hinder gold from hitting 6,000 an ounce and further. I don't think this is going to stop silver from getting to 100, 200, possibly $300 an ounce this year either. I just think right now things the turmoil that we're in right now is making the price right now just kind of halt before it continues to push up. So just be patient if that's the case. All right. So as always, if you found any value in this video, like, subscribe, share with a friend. And again, as I always say, if you're going to trade this information, if you're going to trade within this environment, please make sure you're risking properly. And I'll see you guys in another video. And yes, I'm going to do a separate video where I break down the markets and what I'm currently looking at, because again, I didn't want to make this video too long. All right. So see you guys later. Peace.